Hey guys, and welcome to this video. Hope you guys are doing well and having a amazing Black Friday weekend. First of all, I want to apologise for not uploading last weekend. I will explain all of that towards the end of the video, so if you want to have some updates as to what's been going on in my life, make sure to stay tuned till the end. Today I thought I would do something slightly different for my channel and talk to you a little bit about my life that I haven't really put online on this platform before. Obviously, you all know I love books. I have mentioned them in my monthly favourites videos occasionally. I tweet about them, I Instagram about them, and I also have this incredible bookshelf that if you want a full bookshelf tour, by the way, let me know and I will take you through all the books that I have, including all the cookbooks and magazines which are further down there. But at the moment, I wanted to talk to you about a specific type of book, more along the lines of self-development, self-help, those type of books, because as I've grown older, as I've gone through my 20s and experienced a lot of things myself, these are the books that I've been drawn to and I really enjoy, and these are the ones I tend to talk about most in my everyday life because I think they are quite life-changing and quite eye-opening. So when people come to me and talk to me about the issues that they're going through, I tend to talk about some of these books because they've helped me, and I really hope they help you guys as well. I know it's slightly different, but I'm trying something new, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Now that rambly introduction is over and done with, let's kick off with one of the books, and this one is Mindset. And this is by Dr. Carol Dweck. So, everyone, if you're not new to my social media presence online, on my blog, on Twitter, I'm all about positive mindset and breathing positivity into your life by being a positive influence yourself and growing your mind and having a growth mindset. And this book basically talks to you about two different types of mindsets every human has, the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, and how each mindset gives you to have a certain life, and depending on your aims and your goals in life, how you can go from one to the other. I really like the fact that it's really easy to read. The writing is quite small in the books, but it's very hands-on, very practical, gives you very practical tips that you can implement almost straight away into your everyday life, and it is relevant in all areas. So whether you're in university, whether you're in college, whether you are about to retire, whether you are working and haven't even gone to school, or whether you are in your 20s and just graduated, it's full of useful and helpful tips in that regard as well. I learnt a lot from it, and there's a really great resource bank at the back of this as well, which I found incredibly useful. The next book that I'm going to talk about is this one, and this is The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a... and then there's that little word there which I'm not going to say on the internet. And this is written by Sarah Knight, and I really actually like this book. I love this book. It's very real, it didn't really give me information that I didn't know. However, what it did give me was practical tips on how to implement it. If you're somebody who is a people pleaser, if you're somebody who finds it hard to say no, and because of that, the things that you want to achieve yourself and your life can kind of be thrown to the wayside a little bit, this is definitely one for you. She talks about all life stages, again, quite similar to the mindset. So it talks about personal life, so how there might be functions that you feel obligated to go to, but in reality you don't really need to, and you could spend that time either, if you blog, maybe writing a blog post, or even just spending that time to recuperate and watch Netflix. And again, it has very practical tips and exercises in there that you can implement, and those are the type of books that I tend to gravitate towards, which have useful tips and tricks at the end that you can implement in your daily life. Otherwise there's no point in reading them, because that's the whole point of reading them. You need to take something from it, and this allows you to do that perfectly. She has another book out which I have yet to read, which I am going to be reading very soon, and she also has a new one coming out, which I have recently found making its wave across social media, which I'm really excited to give a go as well. And then something that I haven't really spoken about on my channel is the fact that in my 20s I have suffered with anxiety throughout the years. If you did want to know more about that and you want to know more about my story, let me know in the comments and I might do a video on that. But one of the books that I think really helped was this, and this is The Anxiety Solution by Chloe Brotheridge, and it says, a quieter mind, a calmer you, simple steps for managing anxiety. And the reason that I like this book is because there's this perception that books on anxiety can be quite not problematic, but can be like they're looking down on you, and they can be quite patronising. That's the word I was looking for. They can be quite patronising, and this book is not that. It's really easy to understand. She breaks down in chapter to chapter about how she tackles her own issues and how she managed to get to where she is now. She also provides tips and tricks at the end of each chapter, along with a summary of the chapter as well. So after you've read the chapter, if you manage to lose your focus, which is a side effect of anxiety for some people, or if you just wanted a recap, a refresh, they're at the end of every chapter. She also has a resource bike at the end of this, along with a toolkit. Chloe Brotheridge is actually a hypnotherapist and nutritionist, so she talks about how you could eat for your anxiety in here, and how you can retrain your mind using CBT and other forms of therapy, and her experience with them as well, and how there's alternatives if you do not want to do that too. Like I said, it's really easy to understand, and also I think if you know somebody who's suffering from anxiety or mental health disorders similar to that, and you want to know more about it and how their brains work, I think she puts it really well without being overwhelming and clouding with too much information. So I would highly recommend that for families and friends as well who may be suffering. And the toolkit at the end is something that you could maybe work on with them together as well. I think would be quite helpful. And then the next book is this one, and this is a business related book, but the tips and tricks in here that I took can be used in everyday life. And it is She Means Business by Carrie Green. Carrie Green talks a lot about visualization and manifestation and how you can implement that in your everyday life. But she also talks about how you can create your own business and how you set up your own business to be successful, how you learn from mistakes, trials, tribulations, and how you have to get there to get to where you want to be. She is the founder of the Female Entrepreneurs Association, which is an all-female business membership network where females in SEO positions, start-up businesses can get together, share their advice and tips and tricks. And there's also like workshops and training that she devises as part of the membership program. At the end of every chapter, again, there's little sections that say she takes action, which gives you action points to implement. And this is something that I actually have started doing, and I did, which I find really interesting. It talks about creating a mission statement and things that you might not have considered, like creating a game plan, and how you need to go through the bad to achieve the good. It's just a really, really interesting read. It's done in a really nice, incredible way. It's a beautiful book as well. It's a really nice coffee table book. It's filled with like, not girly quotes, but it's filled with quotes in like this little font, which I think is really cool too. This one says, choose your dreams over your fears. And yeah, I really just like this book. And it's something that you can go back to really easily as well to when you're creating your business as well. I think this would be quite cool to have. So if you're in your 20s and you just graduated and you're wanting to maybe, I don't know, do some freelance work, start up your own little shop maybe, or even if you aren't just graduated but you're wanting a career change and going in on your own, I would highly recommend this as like a reference point. And at the end of the book, she also creates a 28-day She Means Business challenge, so you can then take away what you've learnt from the book and actually implement them to create your own business, which is quite cool. And I don't know if you remember, but I did a Facebook Live all about confidence. If you missed that, I will leave a link to that video in the description box below, along with my Facebook group, because I do them occasionally. So if you would like to see a live version and ask me live questions, you can head over there. But one of the books I recommended during that particular video was this one. And this is Katie Piper's Confidence, The Secret. For those of you who don't know, Katie Piper is a victim of acid attacks. And she shares her story about how the experience led her into a deep space of isolation and lack of self-esteem, as I can imagine it would for most people, and depression essentially as well, and how she overcame that. But the reason that I did like this is because it's not just telling her story. She mentions it, but I think it makes up less than half of the book. What she actually does is uses her story as examples to get her point across, and she also uses other people's stories that she's met along the way. So she did some work with Ideal Home shows. She had like a catwalk for the charity that she did, and she uses people that she met on that to share their stories. She found a mentor, so her mentor stories in here as well. And little tips and tricks are amazing as well. So she's talking about like the traffic jam when you feel like you can't really go, you're kind of stuck and you need to move forward. She talks about making friends and being kind to yourself as well, which is kind of neglected because I don't think people realise how isolating lack of confidence can be to a person. And she shows you how you can create a circle around you and how you can let people in and how that can help increase your own confidence as well, which is really great. And then the last book that I read, actually the most recent book I've read at the moment, is Body Positive Power: How to Stop Dieting, Make Peace with Your Body and Live. And this is by Megan Jane Crabb, who's also known as Body Positive Panda on Instagram and social media. If you don't follow Megan on Instagram, I would highly recommend it. She's just an absolute bundle of joy. She has like these videos of her dancing around and full of energy, and it's absolutely great. I love it. And whenever I see a post from her, it really does brighten up my day. Her book was very eye-opening in a way that I didn't expect. This did take me a while to read because it was filled with information and numbers and statistics that I wasn't aware of, and I am so glad that I've been made aware of it through this book. It's very, if you're somebody who struggled with eating disorders, or you know somebody who struggled with eating disorders, I would highly recommend this. But even if you're somebody who's just gone on a diet, which I think 99% of us would have at some point because of the society that we live in, which is also talked about in this book, it's a real eye-opener. And I think you would enjoy this regardless because it debunks a lot of myths and tricks, and you can then follow up with finding stuff out yourself as well, because there's a reference book at the back, and Megan was very clear about where she got her information from as well. So you can do your own research after that to kind of validate what she said and draw your own conclusions, which I think is really cool too. I mean, she's a really genuinely cool person in general, but if you're somebody who's into health, nutrition, if you're in the mental health sector and you dealing with people with eating disorders, if you yourself has suffered from an eating disorder or know somebody who has, and even if you've been on like Weight Watchers or Slim Fast and those types of diets, I would highly recommend reading this. She talks a lot about body positivity and eating intuitively, which is something that I have incorporating into my life, and she gives you a very practical way to do that, which when I want to do that, or when I thought I was doing that, you can get a mixed reaction and a mixed understanding of what the words intuitive eating and body positivity is. And Megan does a really great example of trying to explain that. She also actually, speaking of Megan, this isn't a plug. She doesn't even know that I'm doing this. I don't know her personally at all. I just think she's fantastic. She recently launched a YouTube channel, so I will leave a link to that in the description box below as well, because I think everyone deserves a little bit of Megan in their life. So if you are interested in finding out more about the book or more about her story, that might be a good place to start, and then you can get the book as well. Thank you guys very much for watching. I know this was slightly different to my usual style of video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if you want me to talk about any of the issues or any of these books in details in the comment section below. Don't forget, I will be posting all about my books that I read in general, not just these types of books, on my blog, along with talking about them on social media, so my Twitter and Instagram, which is all in the description box below for you guys to go and check out. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I did mention that I will tell you a little bit of an update. So the reason that I didn't upload last week was because, I don't know if you can tell, but my voice is still a little bit nasally, but it was 10 times worse and a lot more deeper and a lot more. It actually hurt to talk on Friday last week and throughout the weekend, and I didn't have a video planned anyway, so I thought I would, instead of rushing to plan something and giving you semi-qualified content that you probably wouldn't be interested in, I thought I would take a break, recuperate my voice, and come back again this week a little bit more stronger, which I have. I'm also going to be changing up my content a little bit. I've not been happy with the production that I've been doing a couple of weeks, so I'm trying to up my game a little bit with some more new interesting stuff. If there is a particular video you would like to see, please let me know in the comments, because I'm always open to your suggestions. Thank you guys very much. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys next Sunday for more positive vibes. Love you lots. Bye.